Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome home again. We're busy at work on our coach house. We've done all the demolition. We've made a new opening back here for a garage. Today, we're going to be putting in a new floor system in the middle of the building there. We're also taking you out to Vancouver, British Columbia to look at a factory where they manufacture these beams, which are going to come in handy here. And when we come back, we'll be building a winding staircase, showing you how to cut the stringers and all of that. So stay with us. It's good to have you home again.
Sears presents Home Again with Bob Vila.
Okay, we're going to be building a new floor system, but first let's get together with Ron Gan, our contractor, talk progress. You've had a busy week, huh?
It's been a wild and woolly week here.
Yeah, last week we were tearing out this wall, now it's all done.
Right, we've managed to get our garage door opening in. Our steel's in, as you can see. Everything's all bricked up. Remember we had a door above us here, and it's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
The brick are the bricks that were below us here, so we've reused them to help save some money.
Sure.
And we'll have the one window left over there.
Now on the inside, you've switched over to concrete block. Why is that?
Well, you can lay up one of these for 4 regular brick, and it saves us a little bit of money and some time, and weather is against us here, and we want to get rolling.
Quicker.
It's quick.
Yeah, it's quicker. And the slabs are in. That's the fabulous news, because we were going to have a garage in here. We've got a fine garage floor going for us.
Yeah, it's got great pitch, about 3 inches, so any snow that you bring in here will blow right out.
It's not perfectly flat. It's
right.
pitched out so that anything that melts goes out that way. What's this deal here?
This is a curb called a gas curb, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's about 8 inches high, and basically it's in case you get any kind of a gas spill in here, it won't run into the house. It's protection.
That's a code requirement?
It's a code requirement.
Okay, yeah, because you've got the same level of floor in here. It's the same slab. And what do we have? We have living space. We got a staircase.
Got a set of winders going in over there today.
We're going to start building those later, yeah?
We have a bathroom that's roughed in over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got our great living space.
This is nice.
Down here. Remember
last week we were digging in the dark hole of Calcutta here.
Right.
And now we have, what is it, about 7.5 feet?
About 7.6. Remember we took out almost 21 inches of dirt here.
What's the deal with this post?
Remember our old support beam sitting on dirt? It's
Yeah.
temporarily resting on some concrete here. This will come out as soon as we get our new wall in underneath here.
Yeah, this is the location for the mechanical room, so you'll have 2 walls in here.
Right.
And what, the water service?
Water, we're going to have a heating unit in here, hot water system in here.
And
We've got
then
our waste and vent ready to go in for the kitchen. That's going to be above us over there.
And what's happening up here?
Well, we're getting ready to build the floor system over there.
All right. Okay, so Ron, this is called a ledger board, right?
Right.
And what does it do?
Well, it holds the weight of the floor joist that we're going to stick inside those little brackets called joist hangers right there.
All right, and are we just driving screws through the ledger board into the masonry wall?
No, we're temporarily putting a concrete nail to hold it in place, and then we're going to put a threaded rod all the way through and actually bolt it to the building with a metal plate on the outside and some washers on this side.
All right. Pretty soft brick, isn't it?
Very soft, very old. Now you can't get 12-inch bolts that have threads all the way up on them, so that's why you use the threaded rod.
You just buy threaded rod and cut it to length.
Right. Now on the other side, Bob, we're using a 3-inch square metal plate to really get it to adhere to the brick outside there.
So this would be as tight against that masonry wall as it could possibly be.
Right.
Okay, what's next then?
All right, well, we're going to have to duplicate that ledger board over here, and then we'll be ready to start putting up some joists.
And then you'll put joists across the whole width?
Well, we're not going to put a single span. That would be 20 feet. That would be too big.
Yeah.
We're going to cut them in just about in half. Before we do that, we're going to have to put a bearing wall up here on our curb, and that's what the guys are getting ready on right now.
Okay.
So the sill goes down first, You need that before we put the wall up, and it's going to be attached with a 22 caliber nail set.
Ron, if you don't have a gun, how would you attach the wood to the concrete?
Well, you can either use a cut nail or a concrete fluted nail and just pound them right in. Okay, let's go. Set
All
it
right.
up.
And flush on the corner. Temporary brace there, Ron?
Okay.
All right, so they're making quick work out of this. These are all 2x8s?
Right, all Doug fir, good strong structural material. We've got them all stacked up here so we can just lift them into place. Down at the bottom here, I have arrows marked. Let me know which is the crown side up.
Every piece of lumber, even though it looks like a straight line, has just a slight arch or crown to it. You always want to put the crown to the top side, because when you put the weight of the plywood and the floor on it, it levels off. Okay, we've got all of our ceiling joists in place, and we're really looking at the ceiling height in here, which is about 7 feet. Up above, the fellas are putting in all of the decking. Ron, what are we doing up here?
Oh, we're laying a little bead of glue down here, Bob.
Okay. What kind of plywood are we putting in?
Well, we're using 3/4 inch tongue and groove plywood.
Now, is that better for a floor deck like this than
Yeah,
just
it's
putting down
actual
a...
floor sheathing. It gives us a nice, sturdy floor.
Yeah, it gets all tied together, and you don't have to worry too much about squeaking floors later on. And it's breaking on a joist right over here.
Right.
There we go. Ready?
So all we do is let it fly, and now we're going to just persuade it into place.
There it goes.
That's good.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll be right back after these messages. Let me get my weight off of here. The framing that we've been doing down here is real traditional. Overhead, we're going to be doing something quite innovative, using a Parallam beam. They're made out in Vancouver, British Columbia. David Parker, who's the general manager of Macmillan Bloedel's plant, is going to give us a tour, show us how they're made. Well, this is the most whimsical concoction we've seen in a while. Hi, David.
Hi, Bob.
How are you? What's the big idea here, hanging a sports car off of one of your beams?
Oh, we've just been showing off hanging the car from the beam and putting the beam on corrugated containers.
You mean you've got the weight of the car and the beam on these cardboard boxes?
That's right.
It's pretty impressive. You guys have some neat ideas around here. But what I want to know is how you make those beams.
Bob, we're all ready to show you at the plant.
Great. So what do we got here, Dave?
Well, we have the veneer from which we make our product. We can not only utilize this good veneer that you'd use in other processes, but we can use what is considered waste. We call it fishtail. It comes because the log isn't perfectly round when we start the process.
Yeah, so this has been veneered off of around, is it Douglas fir?
That's right.
Yeah. Where's it grown?
In Oregon, Washington, and here in British Columbia.
So none of it is imported.
That's right.
And it looks like it just got veneered a week ago. What's the moisture content?
It's high. It's about 30 to 70% water in this
Wow.
pile right now.
So what's the first step in making
Our first step is right over here, and it's drying the veneer.
Okay. How do you actually dry it?
When we take the wet veneer and we put it right into these machines, it travels on these belts throughout a dryer blowing hot air at about 170 degrees Celsius on both sides.
How hot is that in Fahrenheit?
About 340 degrees.
And does it get all the moisture out of it?
Down to about 2 to 4%.
Fabulous.
When the veneer comes out of the dryer, we sense the moisture content, and if it's too wet, we mark it with a black paint and then put the veneer back through the dryer a second time.
Then what's the next step?
The next step is the veneer goes right into the stranders.
The strander. So you're actually shredding that big sheet into strips.
What we're really doing is cutting them into long strips The machine is like an old-fashioned real lawnmower that cuts them in these strips. The long ones give us strength. These short ones don't. We want to get rid of those.
So why do you switch direction here on the conveyor belt?
That's because we've got an ingenious device that the long ones have to jump this gap.
You got a gap here. As long as you've got them on a diagonal, the long ones go through and the short ones fall in the...
That's right. Then they're ground up and they're used for energy to heat the dryers. We try and recycle the whole material.
Fabulous. So all of these will actually become a beam. What's the next step?
Resin is applied to the strand.
So what's actually happening within that mechanism?
This is our resin application system. It applies the resin and it dries the excess water off the strands, and then they come up the conveyors that you can see before.
What kind of a glue have you used for this resin?
This is a phenolic resin. It's the same as used in waterproof marine plywood. It's been around 50, 75 years.
Okay, and these are basically the only two ingredients, right?
That's it. That's
the wood and the glue. What's the deal with this conveyor belt below us?
This is a belt that has a conveyor that moves around in a circle, but at the same time the whole belt's moving back and forth.
Yeah.
And what it's doing for us is dropping those strands down into the top you can see on the right, so they're parallel and so they're well overlapped. Both the parallelism and good overlap are critical to the strength of our product.
So it's a linear overlap, and that is in strength and union. Yeah.
That's right.
And where are they going here?
Okay, what we have down here is a trough that by the time this trough is always moving towards our press.
Yeah.
At the same time, the mat is about 30 inches deep, and it's in the press, it's slowly compressed down to about 11 and a half.
30 inches down to 11 and a half.
That's right. That's it.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, Dave, so what's going on here at these controls?
The total process line is controlled by this computer.
Yeah.
Density, moisture content, speed, the length of the beams that we cut off.
Right.
The whole thing is done right here.
Okay, and then what's the next step?
The curing, the pressing and the curing. The whole beam is cured by microwave energy, gets it over the boiling point of water, that solidifies the product and gets a good glue bond.
So that's over 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
Absolutely.
Great. And then what?
We have the pulling stations, which exert over 100 tons of pulling force that help pull the beam right out of the press. Without them, the press would jam shut and wouldn't work.
Of course, because of all that pressure that's being exerted there.
That's right.
Great. And what happens?
What we have next is a flying cutoff saw. This clamps onto the beam to the length we want, and then it comes right across through the blade and cuts it off to the length we want. Right now, the market's asking for 48 feet length, because the whole deck is full of 48-foot long beams.
But you could make them kind of, it seems, as long as you would want, right?
It's a continuous press, and we could theoretically, if we could handle it.
Yeah.
In reality, 66 feet is about as long as we produce under a normal circumstances.
Then what's the next step after you've cut them to length?
The beam is then put through the sizer, which just cleans up the outside edges, makes sure it's perfectly square. Then if we want a smaller cross-section, it goes through a saw that cuts it down to a smaller cross-section, to a sander that sands all the sides. Then it goes through an intensive grading process to make sure there are no flaws in it. We wrap it, and we're all ready to send it out to the market.
It's packaged and it's ready to go into a building site. That's great. Tell you, what's amazing is the scale of everything is so huge here. How big are these Parallams that they're loading there?
These beams are 48 feet long. It's here where we wrap them, package them, put them on the trucks or the rail cars in the back, and they head to any market in North America.
All over the country.
That's right.
You know, there's one thing we haven't talked about, and that's the price point.
Well, in an application like yours, a structural remodeling, the one in Chicago, Parallam will save you money over the normal steel installation.
And they'll be easier to put in place.
That's right.
Can't wait to get ours. Thanks a lot for the tour, Dave.
Thank you, Bob.
Been great. And we'll be back in Chicago in a minute after these messages. Back here, we've made a lot of progress in the last few minutes, but I thought we should take a break to discuss our architectural plans. Our architect has delivered some sketches, or actually working drawings here, and I wanted to review them with you. We are just off of the garage here on the lower level. If you came in the alley, you could drive right into our new garage space. A few minutes ago, we raised this partition into place, and I'm right now standing over here where there'll eventually be a closet. Right now, we're going to start building what they call a winder staircase, which winds around in a tight space, leads us up to the main living level over here. And we'll land in a kitchen area, which has a long island in the middle of it. And that kitchen area is directly above our heads now, is on the new floor that we've raised. We can go from it down 4 steps into the dining area and the living room. And if we go back up the stairs, we'll go to the existing attic, which we're converting into a large master bedroom. We'd land right there in a study area. We'd be able to walk into the master bedroom, past the large walk-in closet and a master bath, and into the bedroom area proper, which you notice here is opened up so that you kind of have the effect of being in a loft looking down into the living room. Very ambitious. And I can't wait to get farther along. But right now, let's talk about building the stairs, the winders. And Ron and John have already gotten, well, they've already gotten the project underway. What's this plywood box all about?
Well, Bob, this plywood box is our first step, in effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
This would be the first step.
This is the first step right here. And what we've done is we've drawn out all the succeeding steps, okay, so we know where they fall in.
So we'd be going up the staircase.
Right. Okay, and all we're going to do is make a succession of plywood boxes to sit on top of there, and each time removing one slice of the pie as we go.
So each box is actually one step smaller.
Right.
Now, this is not a traditional way of building a winder staircase.
No, it's not, but you know, when you have a small area like this and when you need to beat the weather, especially if you're a do-it-yourselfer, this is a real easy way of doing it. To build a typical winder takes a little more skill and a little more layout experience.
Okay, let's watch you put this one together.
Okay.
I'll get out of the way here.
Now, just hold it up like that. All right, I'm going to put some glue on here, starting down in this corner.
And this is a construction adhesive you're using.
Right. And this will help keep our staircase from squeaking. You don't need a lot.
Okay. Now you set it right down into place with all the goop down there.
All right. Okay, line it up, John.
Well, you use a lot of material this way, but it sure does go quickly. Okay, ready for the next one?
Okay. All right, Bob, instead of putting the adhesive on our box this time because we get it all over our hands, we've measured and we're going to put it right over there now.
So John's just laying the bead
Right.
down on the previous box.
Right. We know where the framing members are at.
All right. There you go, John. Now, there's no doubt it's going to be a solid staircase. What size nails are we using?
16s.
16 penny. Good. Okay. Happy with this one? Now, John, what size are the risers here?
7.5.
Well, that's a pretty ideal size, right?
Yeah.
Very comfortable staircase.
Another piece of the pie goes in.
Okay, ready for this one?
Yeah. There we go.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're halfway up, right?
Right. We'll give you a conventional stringer now.
5 more steps and 6 more risers,
Right.
and we'll be up there. First, we got to break for some messages. Stay with us. Looks real good, John. And you made real quick work out of it. And at the top, we've got a temporary partition. We'll talk about that next week. That's a wrap for this week. Come home again next time when we'll be tearing off the roof overhead so that we can build a large shed dormer. We'll be taking you down to Wilmington, Delaware to visit the factory where they make the shingles. Till then, I'm Bob Vila. It's good to have you home again.